All right, quick walkthrough video for everybody that's renting Griswold. Sorry if it is a little windy outside. We're out by the bay. So, I want to give you an idea of how tall this is when it is all the way up. So the only thing you want to make sure when you have it all the way up is that you've got enough clearance. Usually at the campsites you do. You could run into a case where you don't have enough clearance though. So, just a heads up on that. Starting in the front, to swivel the seat around, you'll just pull up on this lever and then just turn. So this passenger seat right here, this does turn. The driver's side does not. It's hooked up to the basically the electronic system that moves it. You've got portable garbage can on the back here. Secondary seating unit is up right now. The next guests are, they're just two travelers. So there are 3 different levers that are hooked onto the device itself. I'll do a secondary video with how to get those down, but very easy to understand. Once you start it, you can only kind of go in order on which one, and then the seat will come down. You will have to move this driver's side seat forward a little bit. As you can see, it won't clear. So you basically just move it forward. Fire extinguisher is here. This is what the bedding area looks like up top. So it is fully up. When we put it down, I'll start putting it down, but there are 2 safety latches here. When I put it down, I probably won't do it on the whole video because it is very long. It takes about a minute or so. In these cabinets up here, you'll find lots of plates and dishes. And then in this one here, this is your main one. So you'll find plates, dishes. There'll be 1 stove in here. That's your induction stove. There'll also be some extra blankets and the safe down below. All of this will come into the vehicle. I'll go over I would say the most complicated part, or the part to pay the most attention to, which is the entire electrical system. So you can see right now we're at 53%. I'm about to take the van for a drive, which will charge this up to about 70 or 80. And then as the van's moving is how it's charging. I can see right here, I'm at 13.1 volts, which is perfect. So this is right where I want it to stay, is 13.1. I want to make sure that I never really get below 50. So I try to do everything that I can to keep it into a sunny area for the solar, and or when you start the vehicle has a DC to DC charger that helps this. I'll show you what that looks like right now. So as we're looking at the back of the van, there's 4 different compartments. These all open. The toilet is in this compartment. So this folds up and there's a portable toilet in here. This compartment back here is mostly safety gear. So you'll have fix-a-flat, you'll have a tire pump, there are jumper cables, and basically everything that you need safety-wise is in this compartment. It also holds your water tank. Water tank right here. And this is how you know how much water you have. It holds 10 gallons, so this is showing that it currently has 10 gallons. And then on this one back here, you'll find there will be a camp stove, propane, and there will be 4 camp chairs in here as well. But back to the important one. So this is the electrical system. So this is the off-grid system. You can see nothing is turned on right now because I do not have anything running off of it. I will go start the vehicle, and then I will show you what it looks like when the DC to DC is working correctly. Right now, the only thing that is on and taking power in is the MPPT, which is taking in solar energy and converting it. So I'll come over here, start the vehicle. There we go. Now that the vehicle is running, you'll see a secondary light will come on right there. So now my DC to DC charger is working. What this is doing is it's pulling extra energy from the alternator and it's putting it into the Battleborn batteries below. As long as this light is on and that process is going through, you will see this number right here as far as your percentage and how much you have energy wise will go up pretty drastically. So I'll leave it on while I'm doing the rest of the walkthrough, and you can already see 54%. So you will see this going up. You will see that on the voltage side it is increased because it is pushing power through there currently. Now, if something happens to where you're not seeing that go up, or this green light is not going on, or you're hearing this and it's not running, most likely what has happened is this breaker right here has triggered. So it basically says either the DC to DC or something was getting too warm, and as a safety mechanism, that will cut off. So you can see, that turns that off. The reason I have this one with the star on it, because it is the most important breaker. That is something that happens reasonably often, especially if it's warmer outside, so summertime travelers, or if you're kind of in 80 degree or over, this may happen. So to fix it, I literally just push up on that one, and there we go. DC to DC is back up and running. There's also a entire shutoff that I'll show you how that works in a second. We can see DC to DC is going again. That is now charging really well. All right, put that back. Come back over here. Right now, if you take a look, so we've got two USBs here, and you've got another, I forget what they call these, the plug-ins, just like the front of the car. And then you've got an outlet here, and you've got an outlet here. To use the outlet, you actually have to invert the power. So you can see right now it is completely off. It's on the off button. If I turn the switch over, I'm going to see that I'll get a couple lights to light up. Actually, turn it over this way. Oh, they're very dim. Okay, hopefully you can see it. I was like, where's my lights? So you can see it in there. Now my power inverter is on, which means that I can use this and I can use that section right there. When I'm not using it, I'll leave it in the off position so that I'm not accidentally draining any power. The only other thing that is draining power on a consistent basis is your fridge right here. So if you feel like you're draining too much power, you can always come into this section here and you can adjust the fridge. So you can move it to 2 or 1 if you feel like it's basically draining too much power. Right now it's very cold in here. It's sitting at, I think it's sitting at 1, and it's still very cold in here. The only thing that I probably won't have is a ton of ice in here. Even that's actually pretty cold though. And then lighting system. So you've got, this is your main lighting system. I'll turn it on. I don't know if you'll be able to see it. Oh yeah, there we go. So this switch right here turns on your lights. Next to it is a little dial, and that will adjust the brightness levels. Very important as you're moving through the van. You may hit this, so just make sure it's off before you go to sleep or before you leave the vehicle. This will drain your battery. And then if I want to use water, see right here, press down. Once that turns red, that is going to activate my pump, and there I have my water. Let's go to the back. Oh, actually, we'll stay in here. Bottle opener right here, and then you won't be able to see them from here, but there are other lights in the top here. This is another item where you can push in, you can adjust the brightness levels, but you want to make sure that you have enough power in the vehicle so that you're in the 70s or 80s, because these do tend to drain power quite a bit. And then this is my roof or my pop top button. So very, very simple, up and down. I'll hold it here for a second so you can see it is not a quick process. So keep that in mind. It will take about 1.5 minutes or so, somewhere around in there. When you first start it, it won't seem like you're getting a lot of movement out of it, but then after it kind of gets going a little bit, you'll see it start coming down. So you can see I'm starting to get a little sag in the material there. So slow process, just keep that in mind. All right, let's go to the back. Actually, we'll go to the side real quick. And this section here, this is where you fill up the water. There's a little key that's on the actual key ring that you'll have that you'll stick in here, and you'll twist left. It holds 10 gallons. Ladder right there. There is an extra Yakima box on the top if you've got some extra gear. I want to come in here. The back side here, so you've got this is movable. You've got another one up there if you want to create like a little hangout or bedding area back here. There are the camp chairs, there's the camp stove, and there's propane and extra water in this section. And then in this back one, as I mentioned before, you'll see the safety gear right here. So extra brake fluid, you've got your jumper cables, you've got a cable that goes for shore power, and we've got a tire pump as well. This is also your water tank. You won't really need to do anything with the water tank, but just so you know where it is. Let me move these around. It'll always have the stinky bag with it for laundry purposes. And then 2 more things. All of your window covers are right back here. They will meet up with the corresponding Velcro. So there's Velcro on all of the windows, and you'll kind of match them up. They are, I have them written like red or R and L for left and right. And then this right here is your main shutoff. So if the electrical system's not working or something seems really wrong, I might have you come back here and just say, hey, turn this whole thing off. Switch that off, it'll shut down the entire system, switch it back on, and it'll do a hard reset. And fuel-wise, if you do end up in a position where if you end up in a place with shore power, you do have a shore power plug-in on the back here. And what you'll do is use the yellow one. If you have shore power, if you know you're going to be using it, just ask me ahead of time, and I'll make you kind of a separate video on this. And then fuel, you have to open the door. There you go. And it takes unleaded. So nothing special fuel-wise. Nighttime driving, they are a manual turn on. So as you get going, you will see that you will not have lighting. Turn this all the way to the right and you'll get your lighting up in the front. This is the rest of the vehicle. Nothing special. All of these auxiliary switches, I just leave them off. They don't do anything as of now. So they're all set up for other auxiliary purposes that I do not have. Other than that, do a quick walkthrough. There are a couple points of damage that I'll actually just note them on here so that you know. You don't have to worry about them, but we'll put them on the rental report before the van goes out. So I'll lower this down a little bit more so we can see them. While I'm doing that, there we go. So same as we talked about as we were going through, we expect to see this going up the whole time. I will always try to have the vehicle leave with about 70% or more, and then you usually top off the energy on your drive. Okay, we're almost down all the way. So first one, you'll see it covered there. There's a crack in the fiberglass. Second one is there's a crack in the fiberglass right there, and you can see the scraping. Obviously that is there before you pick up the vehicle. And on the side paneling here, you can see the scrape damage there. So all of that's already annotated, and that'll be on your renter report. That way there's no blame on you. A couple other things to keep note. This may or may not have this shield you can see on the other side. We've got one of the bug shields on there. This one just ripped off, so it may or may not be there. I'm looking to replace this, obviously, so that should be there. And lastly, another scrape down the side here. Kind of hard to tell in here, but you'll see one that's coming through here, through that area there. So, but in general, if you have any other questions on the vehicle operations, just let me know beforehand, but this gives you a pretty good idea of the layout, how it works, how it operates, and look forward to seeing you soon. Alrighty, bye.